Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Village Board meeting of September 24th. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mrs. Thomas.
Trustee Willis. Here. Trustee Harris-Jones. Here. Trustee Hyperman.
Here.
Trustee Mason.
Here.
Trustee Roman. Here. Trustee Opitz. Here. President Hotel.
Here. Representing staff this evening, to my left, our village manager, Napoleon Haney. To my right, our village attorney, Chris Cummings. To the audience's right, our police chief, Denise McGrath. Fire chief, Bob Krabowski. Economic and Community Development Director, Angela Maceras. And Public Works Director, Josh Berman. The minutes of September 10th. Any additions or corrections? Trustee Willis?
None.
Trustee Harris-Jones?
Nothing for me.
Trustee Heiferman?
I've done.
Trustee Mason?
No.
Trustee Roman?
Nothing.
Trustee Opitz?
Nothing.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Trustee Mason, seconded by Trustee Opitz. Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis. Aye. Trustee Harris-Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Trustee Opitz.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. The claims list in the amount of $817,720.49. Comments or questions? Trustee Willis? Trustee
Nothing
Harris-Jones?
for me.
Trustee Heiferman? Trustee Mason?
Nothing.
Trustee Roman?
Nothing.
Trustee Opitz?
Just what is core and main LP for 24,000?
Believe there'd be some watering parts or meter parts.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
May I have a motion to approve the claims list, please?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Willis, seconded by Trustee Harris-Jones. Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Harris-Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Trustee Opitz.
Aye.
Claims list is approved. Of that almost $818,000 claims list, 3 items comprise the majority of that list. Our payment to the City of Chicago Heights for water was $326,000. Thorn Creek Sanitary District, $93,000. And a previously approved generator for Public Works was $83,000. That amounted to $502,000, or 61% of that claims list. Hear from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any subject not on the agenda, please raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Please come up.
Thank you for allowing me to speak to the village and the trustees and the community. My name is Kevin Crabtree. I've come up to different meetings in the past, and usually what draws me up is to speak when I feel that there's an endangerment to the health or the well-being of people. Otherwise, I kind of keep to myself, keep the yard looking good. So lately, my family, we live on Homewood Avenue. Been living here for 11 years. And the Goodspeed Bicycle Company here in town, they have bicycle rides on Tuesday nights. And they go right past our house. And we've never taken a bike ride before. I went, oh, that's fun. Then our dog barks and wants to chase him down the street. And I decided I wanted to be one of those families that was being chased by a dog like mine. So a few weeks ago, my family and I, we just decided to start taking bike rides. And Saturday mornings, they do a bike ride that leaves at 8:30 in the morning. And we travel through Southgate, over through the dog park, through Apollo Park, and then we cross over towards Isaac Walton. So it's beautiful. And our daughter, she gets to see things that she's never seen before. And we thought, wow, there's trails that we just didn't realize were here. And we're better for it. So this week, and I'm sure that anyone that's been following locally, there's been conversation about the Northwest Pond over in Isaac Walton that has contamination. And I'm looking at it, and that's right where we ride past. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's well-educated people, and there's people that take care of the city, and there's greater powers that look over the well-being of everything in the state, community, village, whatever. every time that we've ridden through the last month, there have been people with fishing poles, a husband and wife it looked like. There's a gentleman at the small little extension of the pond right off of where this contamination is, fishing this past Saturday morning. I wanted to throw up because I'm like, I don't even know if he's eating that fish or not. And a few years back when I spoke up in front of the community, with health in mind, I lost my mom to cancer, and there's always a bunch of unknowns where this starts. So there's obviously a problem at the pond, and we don't know how extensive it is. There's, again, more people that understand about this. My ask as a member of the community, a father and a friend, please stop whatever contamination is happening immediately. Do whatever you need to do further testing to see how extensive this is. Because there are, according to what I've read, again, I'm not a scientist, as we've said in the community, we're not scientists here, but there are laws that must be followed to protect each other, because this is generational. And that's my great ask. And the other half of that is whatever future developments that are happening in this city, in this village and around, that no contamination be allowed into Isaac Walden or in areas where that's illegal and improper. So we want to continue our bike rides, and we want to continue having healthy family members and friends, but this is serious, and I feel sick to my stomach, but, please do the right thing.
Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. Mr. Haney?
So, and apologize for your mom. I remember months ago when you were here for another matter. So the village is aware. So the village has actually reached out to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. We had our first meeting last week, and they're involved now in the fact-finding mission. We've shared with them several outfalls that show what outfalls into prairie lakes. So we expect to hear back from them. What I told the IEP is that I will call every week to get a status report, to find out exactly where they are in their fact-finding and analysis. But we are innately in tune to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. And we want them to do what they do, to do the analysis, to vet, to validate or devalidate any claims of contamination in prairie lakes, stormwater detention pond. So we're there.
And if I could add one further thing, I was driving from the city, talking to my wife whether or not I should speak up about this, because you want to know that who you're speaking to cares and that there's action, right? If there's truly a health issue here, and a conversation must be had, in my opinion, with Isaac Walden for marketing this in a proper way, because there were people with dogs literally jumping in the water in front of us as we're on our bike ride. Again, people fishing. What are they doing with that? Is it just for sport, or are they eating it? I don't know, but they're exposed. And it's not just in the sand lakes, it's the prairie lakes. This is, I saw it with my own two eyes with people right there. So the communication needs to be had there, because if they don't know, because they're not part of this conversation, that's not good.
Okay. Again, as Mr. Haney said, we're looking at it. Thank you, Mr. Crabtree.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? Yes, sir.
Good evening. For the record, DOYLE, this land is your land, RY, pastor and Marine Corps veteran. This is probably the hardest when the gentleman just spoke about his mother, for people who were in the South Holland Jewel this past Friday and they heard my name over the intercom in terms of our service to senior citizens and prescriptions, et cetera. My Christian mother made her transition on Friday, and I literally learned about it at Jewel. So that was Friday the 20th, and today is the 24th, and raw is the grief. So, with that being said, I'd like to go back to August 27th. 27th, yes. So on August 27th, I was here. I spoke with the assistant village manager, received 2 business cards to start the process about addressing the unspoken here in Homewood as it relates to African-American male mental health. I thought on the 17th there was going to be a meeting with Chief McGrath, who I have the highest regards for, the village manager, and the chief building inspector, because at the end of the day, as I've said at a previous meeting, the preeminent book on Black mental health, Black pain, authored by Terry Williams, a close friend who I cannot have a conversation with anymore because she's living with dementia. For whatever reason, that meeting did not happen, and life happens. Again, life happens. We're all human beings being human. However, I just thought it was the biggest of ironies right before the Homewood Flossmoor board meeting that evening, and going to the Jewel on 183rd in Kedzie, and holding the leadership accountable about going up the street to speak at the same board meeting that I was going to speak at about African-American males working. So it is on record what happened that night. And again, Chief McGrath, I am expecting Officer RASMAS's accurate police report, because he did nothing wrong. It was the African-American female employees who thought it would be funny to call the police. And they did. They just had it done through the white assistant manager because they didn't have the courage to do it themselves. Again, it is an official investigation, not for the Village of Homewood, but for the Jewel Osco Corporation. That actually happened on 7 days ago. What does that have to do with the Village of Homewood and what I just passed out? See, as I've shared previously, my father owned a business in Homewood for many years. We were integrated in Beverly, thus the Beverly Review, the latest, of which I was the first African-American paper boy in 1982. And I had to go get copies as well as inform relatives of my mother's passing. So that's why the Beverly Review. In color is the latest rankings of Chicago Magazine, the best public schools in Illinois. Interestingly enough, Homewood Flossmoor High School is not on that list. And as I said last week at the village board meeting, at the Homewood Flossmoor board meeting on the record, there's a direct correlation when you place athletics over academics. Think about what I just said and who's performing the athletics. Because we're not talking about white, male, or female. We're talking about those who look like me. So when your academic ratings drop, it invites others in with a different mentality, and you open yourself up to the unthinkable. Again, it's all in this book, as well as what I wish I would never possess. This is my mother's actual Bible that now is passed on to me. See, this is how our family was raised. And again, at the end of the day, regardless of your faith, according to what you believe in, is reflected in your life. So right now, here in Homewood, as it's getting dark, the people who are paying attention to those who are teenagers and they are under the influence What would happen if one of those under the influence encountered a senior citizen walking along Ridge? Again, you cannot fix what you will not fix. Again, Chief McGrath, your officer just responded. He did nothing wrong, but again, expecting a police report because we're at September 24th, and in 3 months and 1 day, it will be Christmas. And guaranteed from a mental health standpoint, individuals may not like the holidays because of what it brings on in terms of memories. Again, I have no regrets. I know exactly where my mother is. However, do people know where their teenagers are?
Sir?
Thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it. God bless.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board this evening? If not, Ms. Maceras, meet your merchants.
Good evening, thank you. Tonight we have Thomas Photographic Services that is located at 18676 Dixie. Would you like to come up and introduce your business?
She's the important one.
I'm Angela,
I'm Colin.
and you're? Ellen. And we are the Thomases. We opened up our photography studio on Dixie Highway back in 2011. We have now moved spaces. About a year and a half ago, we went from 1,300 square feet to about 2,200 square feet. We offer in-studio and on-location portraits as well as restoration services.
Oh, I got nothing. I'm the pretty one.
It is time to start scheduling for fall pictures. The leaves are going to be changing very soon. We have seen a couple news reports saying that fall is going to happen early this year because of the drought. Obviously it's raining today, but it hasn't rained for a month. So fall's gonna happen early. We also have a lot of holiday backgrounds, both Christmas and winter themes. Santa Claus is at the studio the first Saturday of December from 9 until 1. That is a walk-in event.
We are a print-centric photography shop. Print things. If you have a digital file that gets damaged, we can't do anything about it. If you have a print that gets damaged, we can help you.
Yes, which is where our photo restorations come in. Eller in here has a stack of business cards that she is anxious to give to people. If you would like one, you can kind of flag her down and she is happy to give you a card. And raise your headshots, restorations, portraits of kids and families in studio and outside.
And what else do you photograph?
Oh, pets, yes. As the mayor knows, we have photographed many of his dogs over the years. Yes.
Beautiful collage.
Hours?
We are open Wednesday through Sunday. Because we photograph outside as well, it is always a good idea to give us a call or text us before coming by. Otherwise, you run into the chance of us being outside photographing, and I cannot be in two places at one time as much as I would like to. Yes, but Wednesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
And the address again, please?
18676 Dixie Highway. We're next to Prusso Cleaners and Pete's Auto. There is a huge 50 parking lot in the back that nobody knows about, but if you go behind the building, it is there. Cool. All right, Ellerin wants to give out cards. If you would like one, let her know.
Thank you for being here this evening. The other Mrs. Thomas.
Yes, that is granted.
At this point, may I have a motion to appoint Connie Callahan to the Economic Development Committee? She's not able to be here this evening, but I entertain such a motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Roman. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Trustee Obid.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Mrs. Thomas, the omnibus vote.
Board is asked to pass ordinance M 2312, prohibiting the use of groundwater as a potable water supply by the installation or use of potable water supply wells or by any other method for the property at 2124 183rd Street, the former Citgo gas station. The board is asked to authorize President Hofeld to enter into a highway authority agreement for the property at 2124 West 183rd Street. The board agreed to this in February. A change at the Environmental Protection Agency has the new project manager requesting the village, which owns the property, to again approve this agreement after format changes to the original document. The board is asked to pass ordinance M 2313 that revises Schedule B of the traffic regulation schedule for signs designating no parking anytime on Lathrop Avenue south of 175th Street to a distance of 50 feet. This is just east of what was the Girl Scout building. And no parking of trucks on Lathrop extended south from 175th Street, approximately 907 feet south along the service road. Residents and businesses have raised concerns about cars and trucks parking and creating line of sight safety hazards. Board is asked to approve a budget amendment of $7,245 from the remaining 2020 bond funds and award the 2024 Homewood Science Center parking lot resurfacing project to M&J Asphalt Paving Company of Cicero, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $36,745. The board is asked to authorize President Hofeld to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between ECOM and the village for the purchase and lease of Motorola radios and repayment to ECOM over a 7-year lease period. The radios are for the fire department. The board is asked to pass ordinance M 2314, authorizing Manager Haney to sell, repurpose, trade in, sell for parts, or dispose of 7 vehicles considered surplus property, 2 are police vehicles and 5 are public works vehicles. The board is asked to waive competitive bidding due to utilizing a vendor through a cooperative purchasing program and approve the purchase of 4 Ford utility interceptors from Curry Motors fleet in Frankfurt for a total of $182,372. The 2 of these vehicles are for the police department and 2 are for public works. The board is asked to waive competitive bidding due to utilizing a vendor through a cooperative purchasing program and approve the purchase of 2 Ford F-250 regular cab 4x2 from Sutton Ford in Matson for a total purchase of $102,787. These are replacing public works trucks. The board is asked to approve a budget amendment of $23,260 to the Water and Sewer Fund and waive competitive bidding due to emergency pump replacements completed in May 2024 by Metropolitan Industries, Inc. of Romeoville. The pump replacement was at Lift Station 6 at Maple and Gladville. The board is asked to pass ordinance M 2315, granting a special use permit for a drive-through facility in the B3 General Business Zoning District for Starbucks at 3047 183rd Street, an outlot at the site of what was Brunswick Bowl. The board is asked to pass ordinance M 2316, approving a plat of abrogation consenting to the vacation of the 175th Street right-of-way and any easement rights therein. This transfers ownership to the adjacent property to Wind Creek LLC. The board is asked to pass resolution R 3200, supporting a Class A Cook County tax classification for the property at 18031 Dixie Highway, owned by Wealth Center LLC, also known as Mitchell and Michael's Plat du Jour Restaurant, opening in the former Culture Building.
Thank you. It should be noted on item K, that's 174th Street. Any comments or questions from anyone in the audience? Yes, sir.
If we have a Ford dealership at home, why are we purchasing Fords from outside the village?
Mr. Haney.
So typically, the village has a practice of using a cooperative, right? So we're looking for the best cost. So typically, we use a cooperative. They do all of the vetting, the specifications for us. In the future, we plan to return back to what we used to do and give our local dealership an opportunity to bid for these vehicles. So we've had some discussions as early as today to ensure that our local dealerships will be counted in that number, if you will, when we solicit for the purchase of vehicles.
Mr. Haney, as he said, had discussions with Mr. Philippos today with regard to that. Any other questions from anyone in the audience? If not, board comments, trustee Willis.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Harris-Jones.
Nothing for me.
Trustee Hyperman.
I have nothing.
Trustee Mason.
Yeah, real quick, I think it's item C, M2313, where it states that no parking of trucks on South Lathrop. How are trucks being defined? And is it gonna be stipulated on signage?
Yes, it's semi-trucks.
Semis, okay.
And we will make sure this, in fact, the sign actually has a picture of a semi-truck. So it says no truck parking, but it's a picture of a semi-truck.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Trustee Ruben.
No questions from me.
Trustee Opeth.
Just a couple comments, especially with the cooperative purchase program, I think it's an excellent program, and I'm so glad that we have it, because then we can utilize it. That means we are getting the best price. So, as being part of that, I think that is a wonderful program that we're able to participate in. And as far as the Class 8, there's some confusion, and maybe Mr. Haney can shed some light on it. I guess I was always under the assumption that Class 8 was for empty buildings or parcels that have been empty for at least 3 years. What has changed with that?
Yeah, probably like Chris has, our
Okay.
village attorney handled that.
I believe the criteria, if you look at it, is 12 months,
Okay.
not 3 years. And there are even limited exceptions to that.
Mhm.
But I think that this building, you didn't have to, there are no special criteria here. It's been vacant for more than 12 months, so that would fit under the county's rules.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, with that, may I have a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda, please?
So move.
Second?
Been moved by trustee Mason, seconded by trustee Opeth. Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Harris-Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Heidemann.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Trustee Opeth.
Aye.
The consent agenda is approved. New business, part-time market coordinator. Mr. Haney, an explanation.
Yes, ma'am. So I wanted to bring this to the board's attention, not for any action, obviously it's an internal hiring, but I'd received feedback from various board members to discuss the farmer's market in its current configuration. I think sometime in 2020, we kind of lost our momentum with our farmer's market. It became more of what would you say?
Craft.
A craft market. So we want to put we want to invest in our farmer's market and actually hire a part-time person that has the passion, that has the knowledge, and that could actually revitalize and reinvigorate our farmer's market to bring it back to that vegetable, fruit, bakery type market. So I think we have some good momentum right now. We have some candidates in mind. We're going to put it out for hiring and recruitment, and hopefully we'll get somebody that has the passion to make this thing happen. So I just want to bring to your attention that we heard you. So we're actually hiring a part-time person. And during the off season, someone asked, what would the part-time person do during the off season when the farmer's market is not in session? That part-time position would also help Marla do some things in the office in preparation for the event season. So we have some plans for this part-time person, but their priority, just to be clear, is the farmer's market and bringing that market back to Providence and Homewood. So just wanted to let you guys know.
Okay. Any comments?
That's
I
excellent.
fully
I
support
think,
it.
I think it's great. This is actually something that we've discussed in our events committee a handful of times, that we
one of the goals of the events committee is to take feedback from our community and deliver it to the board. And that's something that we've talked about a lot, about trying to get more farmers and more bakery goods and things like that. But I do feel like I have to give a shout out to Chloe, Little Spruce Micro Bakery. If you have not tried her bread from she's currently a vendor at our farmer's market, and it is worth the trip to go and get some of her bread and her other bakery goods. But I'm excited about this. I think it'll bring some new vendors.
I would also like to add, first of all, yes, but you have to go first thing in the morning to get her.
She sells out.
She sells out quickly. I do think that due to the pandemic, we did lose a lot of vendors, and where farmers decided to go elsewhere. So it has taken a while for the farmers market to get picked up again. And I'm glad to hear that we're gonna have someone that is solely devoted to that, to be able to, take it back to where it was when Kate Dowd used to manage it.
Okay. With that being said, general board discussion, trustee Willis.
Oh, I don't know if anyone got a chance to check out the new state-of-the-art ambulance that was sitting out front a little while ago. It was so very impressive and a great addition for our fire department and our residents as a whole. And just really grateful that we were able to get it.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Money well spent, definitely.
Hopefully we never have to use it.
Yes.
Trustee Heiferman.
If you'd like to talk about that money well spent, on Monday, October 7th, 5 to 6 p.m. at Bergstein's. That's the first Monday of each month. I'm there and happy to talk about all topics homeward.
Trustee Mason.
I don't want to be the disaster guy, but I just want to let everybody know that there is funding coming from FEMA for the tornadoes that affected the community in mid-July. The village advocated, along with several other villages, for damage assessments from the community and from our residents. And even though we didn't sustain extensive damage that tornadoes can usually or sometimes inflict, there was enough damage across the area for the governor and then for the president to declare a disaster. And so in very short order, the village will have information that they'll be pushing out as to how our residents can register to receive some type of funding assistance for the expenditures that they may have faced during the tornado. That's it.
Trustee Roman.
Do we know yet if that would come in the form of, I know that somebody had mentioned that it might come in the form of a loan to people, but would it reimburse expenses? Do we know that information?
Yeah, normally it comes in the form of a reimbursement payment from FEMA. There are times when the Small Business Association will offer favorable term loans, short, long-term, low-interest loans for communities. But we exceeded the threshold for that and met the threshold for individual assistance from FEMA. So more than likely, it will come in the form of a reimbursement.
That's great.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say the Fall Fest was amazing. It was such a great turnout, a great event, and the chili cook-off and pumpkin patch donations went to the Homewood 153 PTA. And our events coordinator, Marla, said it was the highest donations we've had in the last 4 years. Wow. We are donating $2,310 to the 153 PTA. So thank you to everybody that came out and participated, especially to the 16 people that competed in the chili cook-off. That is not cheap for them to pay for all of the ingredients, to then make the chili for everyone. So huge thank you to them also.
And the judges are recuperating.
Yeah, that was
Trustee
a
Oakley.
day too. Yes, once again, I'd like to echo what Trustee Roman said, that Fall Fest was such a huge success. And seeing it previewed on WGN in the morning was so exciting. I mean, I was actually jumping around in the house, so that was great to see. And I believe that, and this is not any sort of data that I captured, but it looked like it was, to the amount of people, the level that attended looked like pre-pandemic. And I don't think we've had that since. And so, kudos to everyone that participated leaned in to make it such a success because it was a fantastic day. I would also like to add that I want to thank staff for giving us the opportunity to go to the Illinois Municipal League Conference on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Was not able to go on Saturday because of Fall Fest, but it was a great opportunity to truly learn. I was in an 8-hour room, or in a room for 8 hours, learning about TIFs, all about the different ways that you can utilize TIFs, how important they are, and I'm so glad that it's part of our academy to be able to drill down and explain what TIFs can do for our community. Learning about bonds and how important bonds are as well. So every speaker was truly, truly an educational experience, and I'm grateful for being there to be able to participate in it. And I don't know, are Class 8s part of our Civics Academy? Because
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I want
Absolutely.
to sit in on that one as well, because it is very confusing, and you can look at Class 8s in different lights. And I think that the more we can educate our residents about Class 8s, and the value that we are able to get the ROI with that in the long term. So, but all in all, everything else is great. Thank you.
The first Saturday in October is branch chipping at Public Works. Mr. Berman.
Saturday, October 5th, Public Works will be hosting a chipping day for residents. They want to bring any storm damage to us. We'll have staff on hand to chip it on the spot. Again, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll be closing the gates at 12 because we gotta get staff home, but some rules with it. There's no landscaping debris. It kind of clogs the chipper along with evergreens. It clogs the machine and we're out of business. So any storm damage, tree prunings, weekend warrior stuff in the backyard, we're gonna be hosting a cleanup. So come on out.
What time to what time?
8 a.m. to 12.
At Public Works on Ashland Avenue, and that's the first Saturday in October.
First Saturday, October 5th.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. And on behalf of the village board and on behalf of the entire community of Homewood, I'd like to wish Mary Cantway, Homewood's most senior, a happy 110th birthday on September 30th. Mary has been living in the same house on Homewood since 1954. She's amazing, just an amazing lady. So Mary, on behalf of all of us, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
With that, may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So move.
Second.
Been moved by trustee Opeth, seconded by trustee Mason. Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis.
Aye.
Trustee Harris Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Hyperman.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Roman.
Aye.
Trustee Oakley.
Hi.
We stand adjourned. Thank you all.